Imagine walking into two stores selling almost the exact same handbag. One costs $200, the other costs $5,000. Both are beautifully made. Both serve exactly the same purpose. Yet somehow, one feels ordinary, the other feels extraordinary. Here's the fascinating part. That feeling didn't come from the leather. It didn't come from the stitching, or even the craftsmanship. It came from something far more powerful. Your brain. Luxury brands rarely sell products. They sell perception, status, identity, belonging, recognition, and perhaps most importantly, they sell meaning. That's why people willingly wait years for a Hermès Birkin, pay thousands for a Rolex, or spend hundreds on a simple white t-shirt carrying nothing more than a designer logo. From a purely practical perspective, none of it makes sense. After all, a watch still tells the time. A handbag still carries your belongings. A t-shirt still serves exactly the same purpose. Yet people across the world willingly pay 10, 20, sometimes even 50 times more than the functional value of the product itself. Why? Because human beings rarely purchase with logic alone. We like to believe we're rational consumers. We compare prices, read reviews, research features, and convince ourselves that every purchase is carefully calculated. But neuroscience tells a very different story. Long before your conscious mind begins weighing the facts, your subconscious has already started assigning value, not to the product, but to the story surrounding it, the environment, the reputation, the exclusivity, the people associated with it. Every one of these invisible signals quietly changes how valuable something feels before you've even touched it. Luxury brands understand this better than almost anyone. They don't compete by making products that are simply better. They compete by making products that feel different, more desirable, more exclusive, more meaningful. And perhaps that's the greatest illusion luxury has ever created. Because the most valuable part of many luxury products isn't something you can hold in your hands. It's something that exists entirely inside your mind. Today, we're going behind the curtain to uncover the psychology that makes expensive products feel more valuable, even when they aren't objectively better. We'll explore why scarcity increases desire, why status changes perception, why premium pricing can actually improve customer satisfaction, and why some of the world's most successful luxury brands spend far more time shaping your mind than improving their products. Because once you understand the psychology behind luxury, you'll never walk through a luxury boutique the same way again.
Imagine stepping inside a luxury boutique. The first thing you notice isn't the product. It's the silence, the space, the lighting. Everything feels deliberate. Nothing feels rushed. Every display table sits far apart. Every product has room to breathe. There are no flashing sale signs, no overflowing shelves, no loud promotional banners demanding your attention. Instead, the environment quietly whispers a single message. This is rare. Psychologists call this contextual framing. Your brain never evaluates an object in isolation. It evaluates everything surrounding it. The architecture, the music, the scent, the service, the lighting. Together, these elements become psychological evidence. Your subconscious begins making assumptions long before you inspect the product itself. If the environment feels premium, the product must be premium too. This phenomenon is closely related to what's known as the halo effect, when one positive characteristic influences how we judge everything else. Luxury brands understand this remarkably well. They're not simply designing beautiful stores. They're designing expectations, because expectation changes experience. Researchers have repeatedly shown that people report enjoying identical products more when they believe they're expensive. The product hasn't changed. Only the expectation has. Your brain begins searching for reasons to justify the higher price. Suddenly, the stitching feels finer. The materials seem softer. The craftsmanship appears more impressive. Expectation becomes perception, and perception becomes reality. But creating beautiful stores isn't enough. Luxury depends on something even more powerful: scarcity. Imagine walking into a store where every shelf is overflowing. hundreds of identical products, every size available, every color available, everything instantly accessible. Now imagine another boutique. Only one handbag sits behind glass. A waiting list stretches for months. Some collections disappear forever. Without changing the product, which one feels more valuable? Psychologists call this the scarcity principle. The less available something appears, the more desirable it becomes. This instinct reaches back thousands of years. Food, shelter, resources, anything difficult to obtain usually carried greater survival value. Our brains never completely abandon that shortcut. Luxury brands understand this ancient instinct better than almost any industry. That's why limited editions exist. Private collections, invitation-only events, exclusive memberships, waiting lists, even when production could easily be increased. Many brands intentionally choose not to, because exclusivity isn't a manufacturing decision. It's a psychological strategy. Owning something that everyone can have feels ordinary. Owning something few people can access feels extraordinary. Scarcity transforms products into symbols, and symbols carry emotional value far beyond their practical use.